Okay, this problem is an application of an ellipse. And so many times they will build bridges or overpasses, arches in the shape of ellipses. And so this is an example of under an overpass in the shape of an ellipse. It says a one-way road passes under an overpass in the form of half of an ellipse, 15 feet high at the center and 20 feet wide. Assuming that a truck is 12 feet wide, what is the height of the tallest truck that can pass under the overpass? So they give you this picture. This is also from your textbook, and this is the overpass. I'm going to draw my own little picture. They have the sort of tunnel right there, and they say that from here to here is 20, okay, and from here to here is 15 feet. Okay, so then they said this is in the shape of half an ellipse. So you need to be careful that you don't just assume this is a parabola. This is where the other half of the ellipse is. It's sort of like, you can imagine it's underground. So here's the rest of it. So that means this is also 15. And that means if this is the shape of the ellipse, that if it's 20 all the way across, it's 10 here and it's 10 here. Now, the equation for an ellipse is important, and so also we get to orient our ellipse wherever we want it. I'm choosing to orient the center of my ellipse at the origin because it makes it easier. So here would be the equation. I would use x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. That is the standard form of an ellipse. And so just off the picture that they gave me, this distance from the center to this point up here, this is the y direction. 15 is the value of b. So my equation would be y squared over 15 squared. And then I have x squared over the distance from the center to the horizontal edge is 10, so this would be 10 squared. Now they didn't ask me this, but just to be thorough, the major axis is vertical because that's the longer distance, and the minor axis is horizontal. So if you were just plain graphing this and it wasn't an application, I said where are the vertices? They would lie right here and right here, and the foci would be on this vertical axis because that's the major axis. In this particular problem, they weren't worried about the foci. In other applications, they might be. Okay, so we have a working equation for our ellipse. This equation describes every single point on this ellipse. So let's see, what did they ask us? They said, assuming that a truck is 12 feet wide, what is the height of the tallest truck that can pass under the overpass? So I'm just going to redraw this again so I can talk about what they're asking. They say this is 15, and we know this is 10. They say a truck is 12 feet wide. So, and this is a roadway that it's going through. So we're going to assume that the truck is centered on the road. If he is 12 feet wide, if he's in the center, then he's going to stick out 6 and 6 right there. Okay, so this is the truck going down the road. So the question is, if he's 12 feet wide, how tall can the truck be? So let's look at our arch. 6 feet out, it's going to intersect our arch right here. So here is a point. This is where the 6 would be here, right? So right here, x would be 6. We want to know what y is. On our coordinate system, this would be -6. We want to know what our y is. All right, well, we have this working equation for every single point on here. We could choose either one of these points, but the idea is plug in the 6 for x or -6 for x and solve for y, and that will tell you the height of the arch right there. That will also tell you the tallest that a truck can be to fit through this overpass. So what we'll do is we'll say 6 goes in for x, so 6 times 6 is 36 over 100 plus y squared over 15 squared, which is 225. and this is equal to 1. We have to solve for y squared. So I'm going to subtract 36 over 100 from both sides, so I get y squared over 225 is 1 minus 36 over 100. I'm going to think of my 1 as a fraction, as a 1 over 1, and I'm going to common denominator of 100, so this is really, I'm running out of space, y squared over 225 is equal to 100 minus 36 over 100. When I get a common denominator, 100 minus 36 is 64 over 100. So I have y squared over 225 is equal to 64 over 100. I can cross multiply here. So I'll get 100 times y squared. 100 times y squared is equal to 64 times 225. And then I'll divide both sides by 100. And so that gives me, let me see, 225 times 64 divided by 100 gives me 144. Y squared is 144, so I take the square root, and y is equal to 12. That means that the tallest truck that can fit under the overpass must be less than 12 feet tall, because if it's 12 feet, it's going to hit the edge and cause damage to the overpass and the truck. So it's got to be less than that. That is that one.